we're hunting and fishing the moon of the Big Teeth. Coming up next on the Journal. From every point on the compass, from the woodlands and fields and waterways, come thrills and excitement and challenges enough for every man, woman, and child. These are our adventures, our stories of the wild places, both near and far. All of the hits, the misses, the memories. Our time spent living the wild life. Join us. Venture out into the world at the end of the asphalt. The world of the Wilderness Journal. The Journal is underwritten by
Algoma Country, Ontario, Canada. It's that scenic, that remote, that calm. 100-page travel guide available at fishalgoma.net. And by Heinz Propane, with locations in Mount Pleasant, Clare, Beaverton, and Harrison, Michigan. Heinz Propane provides residential and commercial services throughout the state. Heinz Propane, your hometown propane provider. And by the Ina Store in Tustin, Michigan. Ina Store features Case, IH, and a full line of Kubota tractors and RTVs, as well as parts, service, and accessories. The Ina Store in beautiful downtown Ina, Michigan. By Mads Outdoor Product, a full-line Avalon dealer. Mads also features Miracraft boat and Featherlight trailer, as well as combination boat, dock, and lift packages. Mads Outdoor Product, in the center of it all, Harrison and Cadillac, Michigan. Captioning provided by DP Tire Services Commercial and Retread Division.
Hi friends, and welcome. On today's adventure, it's time. It's time to put summer to bed, at least for us, and start the harvest season, and that means we're headed up to Esnagami Lodge, and by we, I mean my lovely bride Tina and I, and joining us is our good friend Mr. Ryan Hopkins. Now we've been trying to get Ryan up to Esnagami for a fall bear hunt and some of that big pike fishing for what seems like decades, and we finally got it put together thanks mostly to his wife Valerie. Now if you haven't been watching, if you're not a frequent flyer, I believe that the fall is the beginning of the big pike bite. You can catch a big pike at any time up at Esnagami, but when those big toothy critters move into the weed beds and we can start chunking them great big baits at them, well that is a special time of the year, at least for me. And when you can combine that with a fall bear hunt for a monster or two, well this is exactly how we want to start our harvest season. Hey, I'm your host Kyle Randall. This is my Wilderness Journal, and we're headed up for the moon of the Big Teeth right now. It was obvious from the size lure that our host Eric Lund was tying on and the fact that he had stopped over a weed bed right next to a big rock reef. Well, let's just say it was pretty obvious even to a novice fisher person we weren't looking for perch. No, we were looking for the toothy critters, the big pike of fall. And even though I'm sure Ryan's mind was at least partially on bear hunting, this is one of his favorite things to do as well. So I guess you could say he was trying to have his cake and, well, you know the story. Really deep weed beds, those that are coming up out of more than 8 or 10 feet of water, preferably next to a rock reef or ledge. That's what we're looking for, and when we find one, we start throwing those great big glide baits, really big flies on the fly rod or a big spinner. We do that because if you work them slowly over the top of those weeds. Eric's plan was to stay outside the weed bed, just cast up over them. That way we could hopefully not spook the fish sitting in them like so many others do. And his plan seemed to be working because...
There we go, there's one.
Uh-oh, Ryan. He switched to that glide bait.
Whoa!
The jumping jack.
Yeah.
Hey. Want to buy that glide bait now? Hey!
You jumping out of the water after it too?
What are you doing?
Fishing on the side of the boat.
I just gotta get him to catch it. Yours got off.
You gotta keep your line in the boat.
Yeah, you want to be careful.
Darn, that was a good fish. He's got off.
Uh-huh. There was quite a little bit of an event. I ain't seen this fish very good, but it looked decent.
It looks just like the one I had.
Yeah, it may be yours. He may have just poached it right off your line.
No.
People are like, oh yeah, that's another great fish. I can see him down there, Ryan. He looks big.
Yeah, he is. He's definitely respectable. Nice fish. Nice.
Is that a qualifier, Eric?
That's a qualifier.
Well, okay.
And I don't think he's really...
All that played?
He looks ready.
How are you doing that? You just set the pole down, let him catch himself?
Set the pole down, watch Eric fish, and you catch fish.
That was pretty cool.
That's Nagami Wilderness Lodge. Pay attention 99.9% of the time.
Or something will get you. You might not.
They're never quite ready.
Yeah.
Here, I've got the surgical instruments here.
All right.
I'm going to tether this to the side of the boat because it's the only one I have with me. Good fish. Oh man, that is got some girth.
And blue foxes don't work either?
Nope.
I'm not going to set it back in the water this time.
I would.
As I say, well,
I'd lay her right there in the water.
That is a real nice. Let's see if we can get a tape measure on that. Well, we got stuff all over the place here. Smidgen under 33. Wow. You want to release it? You want me to...
that's completely fine, buddy. Okay. I want to keep a healthy fish.
They're back.
Good job.
Warm them up. Do it like I showed you this morning. Boy, that's a nice thick fish.
It is too. They're all very
beefy.
Robust.
You know, we talk about it all the time in Michigan. A 30-inch pike in Michigan is not the same as a 30-inch pike in Canada.
Yeah. Wow.
Nice job,
That's what
man.
I've been told.
Yeah, good
Thank
job.
you, sir.
Well done.
Thank you, thank you.
Good job. Now, I'm not real certain just how Ryan managed to pull that off. I don't know how he got that fish off of Eric's line and onto his own, but I do know why he did it. It was a great pike, yeah. The truth was, Eric had hooked a fish and was fighting it. Ryan set his pole down just to help out, maybe get the net, and left his line trailing in the water, and another great pike came up and smacked his spinner. Yeah, that's the way it is, especially in the fall over those weed beds. This is exactly what you go looking for, and it was a great way to start our first day. And the pike fishing part of this day wasn't over yet. Don't feel like a walleye?
The high price model.
Ah.
Boy, that's the second one. They're not big, but boy, they're hitting
like they're big.
Oh, there we go. Catch and release.
That fish was a monster. Oh wait, that's right. I did see it.
They are feeding right now, coming in with a purpose.
Now it was over. It was time to get ready and head to the woods. Well, when you're fishing for big pike, it doesn't go perfect, not every time. And speaking of time, that second afternoon it was time. We needed to get in and get changed, get up in a tree, and hopefully find Ryan, one of the other big toothy critters as Nagami's known for. Cody gave us a ride out and then spread some of Dave's magic bear bait while we got up into the stand and started getting ready. I always try to have the guys hang around while we're getting up in the tree and getting everything set, because sometimes, just as quick as they leave, a bear will show up. It doesn't always happen that way, but it's happened enough times you want to be prepared. And not too long after Cody left, we were sitting there watching, listening, and I heard something. It actually sounded like a bear clicking its jaws. It was just out of sight somewhere down there in the thick. We could hear it, but so far, couldn't see it. Obviously, Ryan heard it too, and every time the wind would rustle the leaves a little bit, I just knew a big old bear was going to poke his head out. Except he didn't. And then finally, movement down in the brush, and a skunk walked out. And this little skunk just walked out and started nosing his way around. He wasn't exactly the big old bear we were hoping to see, but anything to watch while you're sitting on a bear stand, basically watching nothing, is certainly a welcome distraction.
I'm on him. Wait, he moved. See a shooter? That's a shooter. But you're dragging him home.
He nosed his way around looking for scraps and then,
You spooked him.
for whatever reason, took off back into the brush.
You definitely spooked him. I probably smell worse than he did. That's cool.
It was kind of cool to see that skunk, but now he was gone and we were just sitting there waiting and then he came back.
It's a skunk. What kind of tag you got? You got a tag for those? Oh, good, because if you shoot one, you're going home alone. Wonder if Eric could like some of that for tying flies. Why don't you go down there and get him some?
We had just decided that Eric could in fact get his own fly tying materials when we heard something else in the brush and chipmunk. And not long after the chipmunk ran off, we saw another movement and a whiskey jack, a Canadian jay. We were seeing all kind of critters on this bear stand. Except bears.
The next real critter we see is going to be a bear. Yeah, it's getting to be that time.
By 7 o'clock that evening, we'd seen birds and chipmunks and a skunk a couple of times, but so far, no bears. I didn't bother to mention it to Ryan, but I was beginning to wonder, was it just a little too windy? A couple of times we thought we'd heard a bear approaching the bait, but we hadn't laid eyes on any, and I was really beginning to wonder, were we gonna see any before it got too dark? I mean, we were sitting there, I had them on the trail camera, but so far at least, we were still hunting skunk. From time to time as we sat there, the wind would lay down a little bit. The birds were still coming and going. And then another movement and our buddy was back. It seemed he had developed a taste for Dave's secret bear bait as well, and he would come and snatch a few pieces, look around, and then work his way back over to the bait can.
He's waiting for that barrel to be tipped over. Yeah, he is.
It seemed to us that he was kind of waiting for the same thing we were, for that barrel to be tipped over. And then suddenly he quit feeding and stuck his nose up in the air for a second and then took off back into the bush.
Well, there goes your skunk.
Something scared him.
Oh, bear. There's your shooter. Right there. Take your time. He ain't going nowhere. That's definitely a shooter.
This wasn't just a bear. This was a big bear, a male bear, exactly what we were looking for. And he had come walking out, hit our caramel corn circle, and was starting to work his way around it just as we'd hoped. Now it was on Ryan.
That's a shooter. Can you see his nuts? That's a good angle. Go ahead. Whenever you're ready. Big bear. Big bear.
bear with my bone. I don't know why I give that up. Holy cow.
They just come in like a ghost, don't they?
We seen little brother
Oh, yeah?
3 times.
Yeah, and every time he ran out, I know that bear was circless. I know we heard him earlier.
That had to have been him in there earlier.
Or a different one.
Sit down. Time is it?
8:26.
That is awesome.
Isn't that something?
That is incredible.
That, my friends, was a big bear. And despite the fact that Ryan had made a pretty good shot on it, by the time we got down and got our stuff together, it was getting pretty dark. I decided we weren't going to push into the bear maze that night. We had no gun, no big lights with us. We were just going to have to wait till the morning to go try and recover it.
All right, let's take up the trail. Let's go find your bear, brother.
Okay. Well,
We know where to start.
say where we started here.
Yeah, and I know.
Night at dark.
Yeah, but no, we did the right thing. We're going to find him. But he went just about 2 o'clock. There's a pretty good sign.
Splatter right there.
Yeah. You coming?
I'm coming.
All right.
Ryan, Cody, and I pushed our way into the bear maze.
Yep, right here.
I think he went off there.
Yeah.
Right down through there. Almost had to.
Started looking, and pretty quick we got on the trail.
Big spot right here in this range we missed.
All right.
I was fairly certain we were going to find this bear already expired, but to say that the bear maze is thick and tough to track in, well, that'd be a bit of an understatement. And even though I was fairly certain, you don't want to rush in on a bear trail. I don't care who you are.
You got it there?
Yep, right here.
All right. Well, she's thick in here, ain't it?
Yes, it is. There's some
Yeah, you got some more?
here, some here.
All right.
Big spray right there.
Oh, yeah. Hey, what's that big black thing down there?
There we go. Nice.
Hey, hey, there's some big shadow there. That, I'm pretty sure that one ain't just taking a dirt nap, man.
I don't think so.
I see well, you go down there.
I'll check him out.
We'll stay here and talk to Cody while Ryan goes and checks out the bear. Look at the size of that dog. Get up there and get your hands on. He ain't going nowhere. That one's all done.
Yep.
Shake his hand. Say, hello, you are my bear. Isn't that thing impressive? Look at that.
paw.
Them some hooks, ain't they, brother?
Mine disappears.
So it feel better?
Much better. Boss, I tell you. Been a long time coming. I do appreciate the opportunity, and incredible.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Look at the size of this joker.
Yeah, well, I mean, these guys do all the work. I get the credit, but these guys do all the work.
You
They do.
know,
They make it possible. Cody, and
Dave, all those
Turkey
guys.
Dave and his mystery caramel corn. That don't work, does it?
Not at all.
What do you think of pouring that stuff out in a circle to turn the bear you want the way you want them?
Did that not work? And Dave came up with that
Oh
idea.
yeah, we've been doing it. We used to do it with marshmallows, but he was thinking about that. He said, well, what if we tried this? I said, Dave, we
Right.
do that. Let's do it. And
Came right out to visit our little Pepe Le Pew friend and started rake the business.
yeah, and that's another thing. How many places are you going to go? How many bear operators are going to provide a signal skunk? I mean, we're talking upper echelon stuff here. You don't get that everywhere.
That's right.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem, Kyle. No problem at all.
No problem yet. You ain't hauled him out of here. I wouldn't get too. I wouldn't say no problem.
Well, there's going to be a problem.
I do thank you, buddy.
Hope those other boys make it out here.
Oh
Kyle.
yeah, I appreciate it. I really do. Ryan Hopkins, my friend, that is a bear.
This is a bear.
Holy smokes.
Large version.
Yeah, size XL.
Hey,
I don't mean no insult, but you're no small lad, and that bear eat you.
yes, I think he would. I do believe he would. You know, Esnagami Lodge, Eric Lund, phenomenal.
Yeah,
big
just.
pike, big bear, big dinners.
What are you gonna do tomorrow?
I think I'm gonna take a nap.
Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna.
After we get done today,
I was gonna say after we get that thing out of here, we're all gonna need one.
Oh goodness! Look how pretty that bear is, Mr. Randall.
And that's a big old boy now.
It is.
That's 400 plus, and I'm glad I'm not carrying it. Hey,
but you said.
I said I would bring people.
I will gladly do my share. This is absolutely incredible.
It's going to take all of us in a couple more, bud.
Yes, sir.
He went probably 40 yards too far, but you know what? We found where he laid down last night. We made the right call.
Yes.
Backing out, and even with deer, I tell people this all the time, and it's so hard to do.
It is. You know, late night, you know, I felt good about the shot. I was not worried about the recovery, but it's still overnight. It's still not fun, but you got to do the right thing.
Well, you wind up getting your bear. That's the bottom line.
We went 40 extra yards instead of 400 extra
Exactly
yards.
right. That bear laid up last time. We found where he laid up there by that old den site, and I'm here to tell you, I would not have wanted to walk up on him with nothing but a flashlight.
No.
Because he's big enough, even after I throwed you at him, he might have finished you up and kept coming.
You know, a bear this size is not one, you just have to have patience.
Yeah, big male bears like that, they can be a little bit on the dangerous side. I mean, look at the hooks, look at the feet on that thing.
I could not.
I couldn't imagine.
Don't even want to imagine. Happy times, big bear, bear steaks, bear rug. Maybe in just a little more pike fishing before we go.
Maybe. Welcome to Wonderland, eh?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, my friend. Well done. Very well done.
Great bear.
Congratulations, Ryan Hopkins. That was an awesome bear. And I should tell you, friends, we did find a spot where he had laid up the night before watching his back trail, at least for a little while. So as it turns out, it was probably a good idea to wait till morning. It was plenty cool, got down to 40. The bear hadn't spoiled, everything worked out. Although we did have to get 3 more guys from camp to help us carry that big boy out of there. Still, we got into the lodge with it before it really started pouring down rain, and by the time we got done skinning it and cutting it up, I was pretty certain everybody had had their fill. We'd probably just go in and take a break. Yeah, that's what I thought, except for Ryan had another idea.
There's one, boss.
Fish in the rain. You're not supposed to catch them in the rain.
Friends, I really can't blame Ryan for wanting to go back out one more time, rain or no. The truth is, in a place like this, I don't really believe there is such a thing as too much fun.
That's another good 30 plus.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, professional. Nice fish.
Thank you.
Good job, bud.
Oh, nice.
Great fish.
I know that's not going to take
Nice job.
Big bear, big pike.
Big deal.
Great company.
There you go.
Priceless, right?
Nice job. Mr. Lund, thank you again
You're welcome.
for the whole
pleasure.
5 days. Greatly appreciate it,
Really
buddy.
been a lot of fun. Did great.
Absolutely great. But one more cast, right?
No, we're done. That's it. Put it away.
Oh. Why you put the camera away?
Friends, what a trip. A trophy bear and trophy pike all in the same place, all at the same time. It doesn't get a whole lot better than that, at least not for us. I truly believe that's the perfect way to kick off the harvest season, the moon of the big teeth. And I certainly want to thank and congratulate again my good friend Mr. Ryan Hopkins on a terrific trip. And we all want to thank Eric and Sue Lund, certainly Cody and Turkey Dave, everybody up at Esnagami Lodge. Tina and I went out and did some more big pike fishing on that trip, and I'll share that with you in the weeks to come. But friends, anytime you get out with good people and have a good time in the outdoors, well, it's something special. And I'm betting Ryan will remember that trip for a long, long time. Hey, I hope we see some of you out there. I hope you got your line stretched tight or you're drawing down on a big old good one of your own. And if we do run into you, well, you can bet we're going to stop, help you carry yours out of the woods, and then share that cup and a fire. And if we don't see you out there, friends, well, then I'll wait for you right back here so I can share another adventure from my wilderness journal.